Undercover boss faces shocking truth about his own store. What happens next will leave you speechless. It was a crisp morning when Daniel Hughes, the CEO of Hughes Retail, decided to trade his tailored suits for a worn-out hoodie and a pair of jeans. The billionaire entrepreneur, known for his visionary leadership and hands-on management style, had grown increasingly concerned about whispers of poor customer service and low employee morale within one of his flagship retail stores. Determined to uncover the truth for himself, Daniel devised a plan to go undercover as an ordinary customer. With his salt and pepper hair hidden under a baseball cap and his demeanor subdued, he entered the store unnoticed. The familiar ambiance of the retail space, filled with bright lighting and neatly arranged shelves, now felt foreign as he strolled through it anonymously. Daniel scanned the aisles, noting every detail: the cleanliness of the store, the arrangement of products, and the interactions between employees and customers. At first glance, everything seemed fine, but he knew better than to judge from appearances. The real test lay in how he would be treated as a customer. Spotting a young employee stacking boxes of inventory in one corner, Daniel approached with a polite smile. "Excuse me," he began, his voice soft. "Could you help me find where the coffee makers are?" The employee barely looked up, waving a dismissive hand. "It's over there somewhere," he said flatly, pointing in a vague direction. Daniel frowned but remained calm. "I'm sorry. I'm not very familiar with the layout. Could you show me where they are?" The employee sighed loudly, rolling his eyes. "I'm busy right now," he muttered. "Just check the appliances section." Daniel's heart sank at the curt response. He was stunned by the lack of basic courtesy, something he had always emphasized as a cornerstone of his company's values. Wanting to see if this was an isolated incident, he wandered further into the store. After a few minutes, Daniel approached another employee, a middle-aged woman stocking shelves in the beauty aisle. "Hi," he said. "I'm looking for a gift for my wife. Could you recommend something from this section?" The woman, whose name tag read Linda, immediately smiled and stopped what she was doing. "Of course I'd be happy to help," she said warmly, walking him through the options and even suggesting a few bestsellers. Daniel's spirits lifted slightly, but the stark contrast between Linda's helpfulness and the earlier employee's attitude left him troubled. How could two people working in the same store have such different approaches to customer service? As he moved toward the checkout, Daniel overheard a heated conversation at the customer service desk. A man was complaining about a defective product, and the associate at the desk was visibly annoyed, speaking to him in a tone that was anything but professional. For Daniel, this undercover visit was proving to be more eye-opening than he had anticipated. While some employees, like Linda, embodied the values he cherished, others seemed disengaged or downright hostile. He knew he couldn't ignore these issues any longer. With a quiet resolve, Daniel walked out of the store, ready to confront the deeper problems within his company. This wasn't just about fixing a single location. It was about redefining the culture of Hughes Retail from the ground up. Returning to his office later that evening, Daniel Hughes sat in silence, replaying the events of the day. The dismissive attitude of the young employee and the lack of professionalism at the customer service desk weighed heavily on him. Hughes Retail had built its reputation on exceptional customer service and a welcoming environment, yet his experience revealed cracks in the foundation. Determined to address the issue, Daniel reviewed the employee records of the store he had visited. The employee who dismissed him, Todd, was relatively new, with only 6 months at the company. In contrast, Linda, the middle-aged woman who had been helpful, had been with the company for over a decade. A troubling trend emerged as he reviewed the team dynamics. Many of the newer employees seemed to have lower engagement scores and higher turnover rates compared to the more seasoned staff. The problem wasn't just about individuals, it was systemic. Training programs for new hires had been shortened in recent years to cut costs, and regional managers were under increasing pressure to meet sales targets, often at the expense of team development. Daniel realized that these changes, while financially prudent, were eroding the very principles his company was founded on. Determined to dig deeper, Daniel called for a confidential employee survey to understand the morale and challenges faced by the staff. He also decided to hold an unannounced meeting with the store's management team the following week. When the day of the meeting arrived, Daniel once again dressed casually, opting to blend in with the team. He introduced himself simply as Dan and asked the group how they felt about their work environment. At first, the employees were hesitant, offering polite but guarded responses. However, Linda, the helpful associate from his visit, broke the silence. "I've been with Hughes Retail for a long time, and I love what I do," she began, her voice steady but firm. "But things have changed. We're understaffed, training isn't what it used to be, and there's a disconnect between the management and the team on the floor. It's hard to stay motivated when you feel like you're not being supported." Her words resonated with the other employees, who began sharing their own frustrations. Todd, the young employee who had dismissed Daniel during his visit, spoke up as well. "I know I've been short with customers, and I'm not proud of it," he admitted. "But honestly, I wasn't given much training, and I feel overwhelmed most of the time. It's hard to keep up." Daniel listened intently, taking notes as the team opened up. By the end of the meeting, he had a clear picture of the challenges plaguing the store: poor communication, lack of training, and a growing sense of disconnection between the employees and the company's core values. Leaving the store that day, Daniel felt a mix of emotions: frustration at how far things had drifted from his vision, but also hope, knowing that the employees cared deeply about their work and the customers they served. It was now up to him to lead the change and rebuild the culture from the ground up. Over the following weeks, Daniel Hughes launched a full-scale investigation into the state of his retail chain. He visited several stores incognito, repeating his strategy of posing as a customer. The results were mixed. Some locations displayed the exceptional service he'd built his brand on, while others revealed the same issues of disengagement and lackluster performance that he had encountered initially. Daniel decided it was time to address these problems head-on. He gathered his executive team for an emergency meeting. "We've lost sight of what made Hughes Retail a household name," he began, his tone firm yet reflective. "This isn't just about profits or expansion. It's about the people, our employees and our customers. If we don't fix this now, the reputation we've spent decades building will crumble." The meeting marked the beginning of a sweeping reform. Daniel announced the reinstatement of the company's original training programs, which emphasized empathy, communication, and customer satisfaction. These programs would be mandatory for all employees, from new hires to seasoned managers. He also allocated a significant budget to ensure stores were adequately staffed, reducing the stress and workload on individual employees. To address the communication gap, Daniel introduced a new feedback system. Employees could now anonymously share their concerns, ideas, and experiences directly with the corporate office. He also mandated regular town hall meetings between store-level staff and regional managers to foster transparency and collaboration. One of the most significant changes was the reintroduction of the company's core values into everyday operations. Daniel created a Hughes Promise campaign, reminding employees and customers alike of the brand's commitment to quality and service. Each store was provided with motivational materials, and Daniel personally visited key locations to share his vision for the company's future. Meanwhile, at the store where Daniel had first gone undercover, the changes were met with both excitement and trepidation. Todd, the young employee who had dismissed him, was enrolled in the new training program. Initially skeptical, Todd quickly realized how much he had to learn. The program not only improved his customer service skills, but also boosted his confidence and morale. Linda, the longtime employee who had impressed Daniel, was promoted to a leadership role within the store. Her dedication and experience made her the perfect candidate to mentor the team and help implement the new policies. She embraced the challenge, eager to contribute to the positive transformation of her workplace. Customers began noticing the changes almost immediately. Smiles returned to employees' faces, service became more attentive, and the stores felt more welcoming. Daniel received countless letters and emails from satisfied customers, thanking him for restoring the personal touch that had once defined Hughes Retail. For Daniel, this journey was more than a lesson in leadership. It was a wake-up call. He realized that even the most successful companies could falter if they strayed from their core values. Determined to keep Hughes Retail on the right path, he made a personal commitment to stay connected with his employees and customers, ensuring the company's future remained bright. Months passed, and the changes Daniel Hughes had implemented began to bear fruit. Hughes Retail regained its reputation as a leader in customer service, and morale among employees soared. Store revenues, which had been stagnating, showed a marked increase, driven by returning loyal customers and positive word of mouth. To commemorate this turnaround, Daniel organized a company-wide event titled Hughes Retail, a celebration of values. Employees from every store, along with their families, were invited to a grand gathering at the company's headquarters. The event was meant not only to celebrate the company's success, but also to recognize the people who had been instrumental in bringing about change. During the ceremony, Daniel took the stage. He began by recounting his undercover experience, omitting details that would identify individuals, but making it clear how important that moment had been for him. "That day, I was reminded of why I started this company in the first place," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "It wasn't just to sell products. It was to create a place where people felt valued, whether they were customers walking through our doors or employees working tirelessly behind the scenes. We lost our way for a while, but thanks to all of you, we've found our footing again." As the applause settled, Daniel began a series of awards. Linda, the employee who had demonstrated unwavering commitment during his initial visit, was honored with the Heart of Hughes Award. She received a standing ovation as Daniel praised her dedication and leadership. "Linda reminded me of what it means to go above and beyond for others," he said. "She exemplifies everything Hughes Retail stands for." Todd, the young employee who had initially dismissed Daniel, was also recognized. His transformation, after undergoing the company's revamped training program, was remarkable. Todd had not only improved his customer service skills, but also emerged as a leader among his peers. Daniel awarded him the Most Improved recognition, adding, "It takes courage to acknowledge where we've fallen short and to work hard to grow. Todd, you've shown us all what's possible with determination." The highlight of the evening came when Daniel announced a new initiative, the Hughes Foundation. Funded by a portion of the company's profits, the foundation would support employee development, offer scholarships to their families, and contribute to local communities. "This is our way of giving back," Daniel explained, "to ensure that Hughes Retail remains not just a business, but a force for good." The night ended with a video montage of customers sharing their positive experiences at Hughes Retail. Some spoke of how employees went above and beyond to help them, while others shared stories of how the stores felt like second homes. The final clip was a heartfelt message from a customer who had been at the store during Daniel's undercover visit. "That day, I saw a man walk into the store, humble and unassuming," she said. "I had no idea he was the owner, but I saw him listening, observing, and caring. That's what makes Hughes Retail special. It's not just about products, it's about people." Daniel watched the screen with pride and humility. He knew the journey wasn't over. There would always be challenges to face and improvements to make. But for now, he felt a sense of fulfillment, knowing that Hughes Retail was once again a company he could be proud of. As the evening came to a close, Daniel stood among his employees, sharing laughs and stories. He was no longer just the CEO in the office tower. He was a leader connected to his people, walking alongside them as they forged a new legacy together.